Minnesota has been thrust into an important position at this year's Democratic National Convention, especially after Governor Walz's elevation to vice presidential candidate. Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan spoke to the crowd on night one, and this morning, Quinn Gorham caught up with some of those delegates at the Minnesota delegation's breakfast.
Prominent Minnesota Democrats gathered for breakfast Tuesday in Chicago, focusing on what's quickly become a very busy year for the state PFL.
People outside of sort of the insiders in politics are starting to see what we have in Minnesota, of course, with Tim Walz and all of our wonderful elected officials and the great story of success.
Ken Martin, chair of the Minnesota DFL and vice chair of the DNC, says it's been an eventful few weeks for party leaders in Minnesota.
I'm doing a lot more than I ever have for a convention, right? A lot more media interviews, a lot more receptions and events that I have to speak at.
The biggest reason, Governor Tim Walz's meteoric rise into the national spotlight. Walz has gone from a modest Midwest governor to a voice for the Democratic Party in just under a month. Martin says it has the delegation buzzing, and not just because of the presidential ticket.
He's talking about it on the national stage now. That should definitely help not only bring voters out, but it should help those voters vote all the way down the ballot for DFL candidates. And so we're very excited.
Lawmakers are well aware of the implications an energy like that could have. Minnesota Senate Majority Leader Erin Murphy says she's optimistic about the upcoming election given what she's seen.
I think Governor Walz on the ticket is going to create more enthusiasm and more engagement in the election, which will impact our races, both in the Senate, our special election, and in the House.
But it's a prospect that Minnesota Republicans think might have the opposite effect.
A heightened level of scrutiny regarding him, his record, and many things that he has said over the years. And I think one of the impacts that might have on some of the down ballot races is causing voters to really question what they thought they know maybe about him.
Walz, of course, the linchpin in energizing Minnesota's DFL base, expected to address the convention Wednesday night. Reporting in Chicago, I'm Quinn Gorham.